sell the unsold. Now, selling the unsold are people that someone at the organization, maybe it was you, maybe it was your predecessor, they already tried to get them as a customer, they got them through the prospects phase, they quoted them, or maybe they didn't even get to the quote phase, but at some point the deal fell apart. Those people have already heard of your company, they already appreciated your capabilities or what it is that you had to offer enough to have multiple conversations with you. Those people are the second lowest hanging fruit because you've already done the work to get the brand in front of them, or someone has, and they're willing to listen if there's maybe a new face. So if you're new at a company, you can go through, and I would recommend the last 2 to 3 years of opportunities that you've had. And if you've got a CRM system and you can rank them based on opportunity or company size or potential or things like that, great. If you can't, then you got to start at A and go all the way through Z and do some research on your own and see, are these people that are spending a lot of money in the industry? Are these people that currently are with your competitors? Because if your competitors have them as a customer, then it's pretty relevant that they could be a customer of yours. But you want to go through the unsold people. The first step in selling is to get them to buy into, at least at a high level, your capabilities to have a conversation. That work's already been done. So if you're new at that company, you can say, hey, I'm new here. I know John or Susie did this with you a year ago, 2 years ago. I'm sure that project's already dead, or I'm sure that you guys have already moved on. But I wanted to see if we can have a quick conversation to see what it is that you guys are up to these days. They might say, yeah, John was horrible. I wanted to do business with you guys, and I'm glad that you reached out to me because I do have a new project. You'd be shocked how many times going back through old people that you quoted or that somebody else at the company was talking to turns into something substantial relatively quickly. It's all about timing. So go through all of those last 2 to 3 years of people that quoted, prospects, sales activity, whether it's with a different territory, different salesperson, or even if you've been with the same company for 10 years and you're doing this now, go back through your last 2 to 3 years and just say, hey, I'm assuming that you guys went down a different path, or I'm sure that this project's dead. I wanted to see if we can at least catch up and see what's going on. That is the second lowest hanging fruit for you at this point. Often, a lot of arguments I get to selling the unsold is, 1, they probably don't want to talk to me anymore. 2, the same person probably doesn't work there. That project's dead. They already chose a system. They already chose a supplier. We don't have the capabilities. Whatever argument back to what I'm saying you have, just wipe it out of your mind and do it anyways. Because I guarantee you that there will be opportunities. If you got 100 people that you've quoted in the last 12 months, I'm not saying that 80 of them are going to answer the phone and be like, yeah, come on in, let's talk. And yeah, I've got all these opportunities. But even if you get 2 or 4 or 10 or whatever it is, whatever the number ends up being, you're trying to increase your total opportunities of leads in the beginning of the pipeline. And the only way to do that is to put as many qualified to the highest level that you can qualify them without talking to them, qualified quality people into that pipeline that's going to have the greatest chance of success. Because half of the qualification process is, do you even have a need for what it is that I'm selling, right? You may see that they're a company and you may think that, oh yeah, this random company, I think that they have a need, but you still have to qualify them. So if you've already got a list of people that are somewhat qualified, then put them into the funnel and it's going to be a lot shorter of a sales process than it normally would be. Now, let's say that the person isn't there anymore. I worked at a company and I went back 3.5 years, and past 18 months or so, depending on the position, if it was commodity management or engineering, usually those people would stay around, but if it was lower level purchasing people or project engineers or product engineers, things like that, they've already gone, they've left. They moved on to a different opportunity. So how do you find out the right point of contact? Well, you have 2 methods that I always use. Number 1, call the company. Call the company and say, hey, I'm looking for this person. And the receptionist may say, oh, they no longer work here. So then your next follow-up question is going to be, who is taking over their responsibilities for this service, for this commodity, for this application? Director of IT, oh, he's not here anymore. A software engineer, they're not here anymore. Who took over his responsibilities? Oh, I don't really know. Well, who's in charge of that department? You find out the boss's name and say, yeah, let me talk to them. Leave them a voicemail. The other method to do is look at LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the greatest asset that you have that most people don't utilize. And I don't mean strictly from a standpoint of a directory. Not just saying go on LinkedIn, look at the company, employees at, and find a name. I mean, the process that we teach in our LinkedIn course is that I want you to do all of that to find out the name, And then I want you to connect with them, and I want you to engage with them, and I want you to like their stuff, and I want you to share content, and I want you to message them through the platform, because they're on the platform and you can get a hold of them there a lot easier than you can through email or picking up the phone. If you call and they don't have a receptionist, then it's all automated. You can just pick any department, any person, and ask them. If nobody's giving you any answers on the phone, go to LinkedIn. A lot of times if you send them an email, it'll say this person's no longer here, and this is the new person in charge, or this email's been forwarded. But just go to LinkedIn and figure out, does a person still work there? And if they're not, who else in the organization has a similar title that you can reach out to and ask them a question? And then pick up the phone and call. And then after you call, then shoot them a message on LinkedIn or try and connect with them on LinkedIn. You have to be resilient at trying to get updated contact information. Now, once you have that, don't just put it on a note on your computer or put it in your notepad. You need to then update your CRM system, which hopefully your company has some sort of CRM system to track this information. Quotes were put into some sort of system. Hopefully you have a CRM attached. If you don't, then export that information, go out, spend your own money, $40 a month, $100 a month, get your own license to a CRM system, and then import those people into it. Because having a CRM system be able to track people through the pipeline is going to be extremely important in efficiencies and extremely important when you see, who do I need to call next? This is the way to schedule everything. So the unsold people, they already have the information in there. They already bought in on your service or your product or your capabilities to a certain extent. Reaching out to them is the next natural way to do it. And you would be shocked at how many people will come back and say, yes, I have an opportunity. It's all about timing, and you're trying to build that pipeline as big as possible.